welcome to another fantastic episode of the Final Weeks podcast. And this time around, we're talking about the UEFA Champions League.
We are the
The league that everybody is chasing. They're using to drag Arsenal, forgetting that Arsenal is not the only big team that has never won Champions League. But anyway,
you
okay,
see
the
Arsenal.
draw.
You see Arsenal is not the only team. We don't call it a
Arsenal is
big
not
team
the only team that have not.
if you don't
Arsenal
have a
is not the only
Champions League.
big team that has not won Champions League now. But all of you will be shouting.
Arsenal is the only team that has not won Champions League.
That's not possible. Do you know how many teams has won?
What makes you a big team?
I don't
You
understand.
don't even have Champions League.
Anyway, the draw has come, has gone, and we've seen the fantastic draws of the fantastic matchups, different matchups between many old rivalries like Chelsea, Barcelona, and then Madrid, Liverpool, and Man City, Madrid once again. But we'll look at it from draw by draw and see. So, okay, the first one is, we'll start from the top, which is PSG, the last champions. And
Well, I think let's. Nayu, I'm thinking, why not let's look at the draw itself before we even get to the team.
the draw for PSG. If you look at the way Champions League arranged, they put PSG at the top as former champion in their draw itself. So coming like that,
and
PSG,
that's because they're also in pot one anyway. So
so coming like that, PSG for them in that draw, and then the pot one draw itself came up with a lot of matchups, fantastic ones. Like PSG is going to be facing Bayern and Barcelona from pot one, and Madrid gets Man City and Liverpool. Man City themselves got Dortmund after Madrid, and then Bayern Munich has Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain to face. Liverpool, Madrid, and Inter, and Inter Milan has Dortmund after Liverpool. Chelsea, like we said, has Bayern and Barcelona has PSG and Chelsea. That's just from pot one. Pot one alone has already
big boys.
turned the table upside down.
You said the
It
big
has already
boys.
turned the table. Like, fantastic matchup all around.
You said the big boys. The big boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is, last year was the introduction to the league phase. And about this time last year, everyone was curious, what's the league phase going to look like, and all of that, and the whole conversation. But the good thing is, this year, this is the second year, so there isn't much to discuss around. Is the league phase, is it going to be interesting or not? In fact, the result of the league phase the last time, it was shocking, because when the draw was done last year, people thought teams like Real Madrid, like Manchester City will make the top 8. But things turned out interesting. In fact, Manchester City, Real Madrid had to play themselves. They had to go through playoff to get to round 16. And Manchester City was eliminated. Even PSG that won the Champions League had to go through playoff. So these are some of the interesting things that we need to look at this year. If we start from that angle, now do you see something like that unfolding or happening this time around? Let's consider something. Last year, maybe people didn't take it serious. Maybe people didn't know it's going to go the way it is. But now people know that there's the possibility of you finishing 20-something, 16s, where you go to playoff is very, very high. How do you see teams approaching this year?
Well, a lot of the big teams are still going to have to play playoff because there is only 8 guaranteed positions.
I mean, how do they approach it? Either they go for playoff or not. Do you think they take it more seriously?
I don't think teams didn't take it serious last season. I think they did. It just so happened that everybody found a worthy opponent in Champions League last season, and they dropped points that they shouldn't have dropped, and that made some teams drop down below 8. Because it's Champions League. There is no way you will show up a Champions League and not want to take it serious. League phase or no league phase. And the same thing is going to happen this season. We are going to see some games. Aston Villa was able to climb into, and the difference now between this league phase and the old group stage is the teams that you get determines how well you do in the league phase. You see, Villa last season, they were able to enter the top 8 at some point. And that's because their opponents were not as formidable as the opponent PSG.
They played Bayern Munich. They played Bayern Munich.
Yeah, but how many top teams did they play?
I think the way the league is drawn, you're definitely going to have 2 pot 1, 2 pot 2.
Yeah, you get 2 pot 1, but once you see those 2 pot 1, once you handle them, you get all the other ones are technically your level. So, which was what they were able to do. But teams like PSG,
But
Madrid,
Manchester City, for
Inter.
example. Let me use Manchester City for example. Manchester City I'm going to use Madrid after that. Manchester City, for example, finished so low in the table, not because of the two formidable one that you're saying. Manchester City played
Mhm.
Feyenoord at Etihad. They were 3-0 at 75 minutes. And then the game came back to 3-3. This is a team that is not in pot one, pot two, pot three. This is not a formidable team. But they played Inter 0-0. Manchester City plays Sporting Lisbon that is in pot 3 or 4 and lost 4-1. So in fact, if I look at Manchester City, they
Your
lost.
first when it
No,
comes to
I will
City,
go
they
to
have
Real
issue.
Madrid. I will go to Real Madrid. What I'm trying to say is that most teams last season, which is what I'm telling you about approach, which is why I was asking you about approach. Most teams last season, there are some things that you would ordinarily expect that you should get your 3 points, regardless of whatever happened.
Not
Go
in
there, you
Champions
get your
League.
3 points.
Not in Champions League. If you
No,
see
football,
Champions League
whatever football
traditionally,
turns out, you don't get what I'm
no,
saying.
not in Champions League. Okay. Champions League traditionally has
I know
provided an
Champions League. What
opportunity
I'm
for all
saying
these
is,
small teams
if
to
City is
come
playing
in and
Feyenoord,
smash you.
if City is playing
It's not.
Feyenoord, I would not be
Bayern is not a
expecting that.
small team when it comes to Champions League now. It's not
You're
Bayern. It's
probably
not
not getting where I'm coming from.
Barcelona
If
or
if,
Kivina.
if City plays Feyenoord 20 times, City should be able to beat Feyenoord 18 out of the 20 times. That's
On
fact.
paper. On paper.
Even in reality, if we go and check,
No, hey, the way I'm looking at it, see,
okay,
Champions League traditionally has always provided teams that will come in and they'll be like, we don't want these guys to win, and they are
there
going
is
to
a
frustrate.
reason why it's
Like
only the big boys that win Champions League. There is a reason.
that's in the later
There's a
rounds.
reason.
In the later
Even before
rounds,
the later rounds, most of these small teams don't leave the group stage. They don't.
you don't see. We're not
Most of
talking
them
about
don't
them
leave the
leaving
group
the group
stage.
stage or not leaving the group stage.
They don't
But
leave because they
season
don't win.
after season, season after seasons, we've seen small teams frustrate big teams in Champions League. It's very simple. That's because it's the opportunity.
That's
See the
that's
way these
element of football. That's the
see
element of
this
football which we can't take away.
what's this team? This team in Kazakhstan after they got drawn with Arsenal and Madrid. See the way they were celebrating as if they were on paper. Arsenal and Madrid should be able to beat them. But we know when it gets to the field of play, something different entirely is going to happen. It's as simple as that.
Can't
It's
happen because
Champions
that's
League now.
football. You know,
Yes.
you're not just,
So
see what we are
all
discussing.
those teams, see,
What we are
Man City was
discussing,
last season. Man City had issue in the league. They had issue in the
but,
Champions League.
which is why I was just
Madrid
using
had
another
issues in the
team.
league. Madrid has issues in the Champions League. So it's not
See,
like
it happened to PSG
it's
as
not
well.
two
It
by
happened to
two.
PSG as well. It happened to PSG as
Exactly.
well.
So it's not 2-2. In fact, PSG almost did not qualify at all.
That's what
They
I'm telling
almost did
you.
not qualify.
So what I'm saying is you're not getting you're probably not getting my points. What I'm saying is the formidable team angle that we're looking at.
Mhm,
I'm saying last season, most of the big teams that dropped down the table, they went down the
mhm.
table not because of the formidable teams, but because of the
Yeah.
ones that people would ordinarily not pay so much attention to. That's what I'm saying. If you're getting my
And
points now.
that's what I said now. And that's why I said it doesn't matter. See, it doesn't matter what pot you're in. You're facing two teams from each pot. And when you said that maybe the approach this season would be different. That's why I said no. It's not as if they took it for play last season too. It's Champions League. Anything can happen in Champions League, no matter who you're facing. So last season, this season, is still going to, if you like, you snooze. Once you snooze, you're going to lose. It's as simple as that.
Let's leave the approach to who are your favorites? Your 4 favorites that you think will make the final. 4 favorites.
That will make the semifinals.
That will
For
make the
me,
final. No, not
it's too
semi-final.
early.
4 teams that you
It's,
think no, his favorite, his
no,
prediction. It doesn't matter. Your
until I see
prediction does
game
not
week
need
one,
to be
game week
100%.
two,
Just
until I see game week one, game week two.
no.
Pre-season, let me tell you,
We make
I will tell
prediction even
you,
before league started. It does not need to be
the
right. Just make predictions.
Premier League is different. Champions League, see, pre-season,
You
I
are
could
now
have,
making this mathematics.
oh, no. I could have sworn PSG was going to get on
I'm not asking you to
to
swear. I'm just saying.
final.
I'm just asking you
But
to predict.
I want to see game week one, game week two. We said this
No,
thing.
then you lost the element of prediction. We are having this. Okay, you know what? You can change your prediction. Is that you are allowed? You're allowed to change your prediction
I'm
after
not
week
making
4.
prediction because I'm not actually
Yes.
sure who's going to make it yet.
You don't
You
need to
can
be
go ahead and make the
sure.
prediction.
Why do
Okay,
you need to be sure? Why do
who
you
are
need
the
to be
4 teams
sure?
you think are going to get to the final? Me, I'm not making any prediction right now. I'm hoping Arsenal will get there. Then when we talk about this again, then I can make it.
Guys,
Who
you know
are
what?
the 4 teams you think are
There
going
is
to
taking
get
the
there?
element. There is taking the element of football banter and everything. Oh, but anyways, I'll make my own predictions anyways. So it
Mm.
doesn't need to happen. You don't need to be sure. There's nothing. No one is holding you to this. So my prediction for four possible teams that I think can make the final. Bayern Munich number one, PSG number two, Liverpool number three. I've mentioned Bayern Munich.
PSG, Liverpool.
PSG, Liverpool. Normally, something in me wants to go for Madrid or Barcelona, but I'm not going to make any prediction without Manchester City. So Manchester City number four. So those are my four. So those are my four predictions for teams that could possibly make the final. You know what? Just make now you make prediction. We're not going to hold you to it. You review it after your week.
The only team I'm going to say is Arsenal
Or,
must
or
make
make
the
only
final.
one, or one, or one or two if you don't want to wait for one
Arsenal
or
can
two
make
that you
the
think.
final, whether they like it or not. Arsenal must make the finals. The other three, I don't know. I'm not sure who's
Okay,
gonna make
okay,
it.
okay.
Later in
Let's
the
go to
season, I might come in and be like, okay,
let's go to the
right
next
now
topic then. So the next topic is let's look at some of the first games that will be happening. And then the biggest game of the week is Chelsea Bayern Munich.
for week one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, old
Biggest game
rivalries.
of
Chelsea played Bayern Munich since the last time they played. That Chelsea used to enter the final. I don't think so. I think that was the last
the
time
so
is
what do you think
going to
of the
be a
game?
boss
What do you
this
think of the
season.
game?
I think Bayern will hedge it, but Chelsea is not that team yet. So I think Bayern is going to hedge it.
I think I agree with you,
And I
but
think
my thoughts and something in me also feels like because I think Bayern Munich with Diaz, with Kane, I don't know, I think they're probably looking, but Chelsea's going to give them tough time. But because of that away element for Chelsea, Bayern my edges. Another team that is close, Newcastle Barcelona. What do you think, Nayo?
Barcelona is winning that game.
It's
Well,
going to be
on
in
paper,
England. It's going to be in England.
Barcelona will win it, but
It doesn't matter.
when
Let's just talk.
Newcastle is troublesome.
Newcastle's going to be at
Newcastle is
home.
troublesome. I think the game is gonna end. Wait,
So
is
my
that first game
thoughts,
for Newcastle?
that's the so all I'm asking you now is match day one for everyone. So that's
Oh,
Newcastle, Barcelona. That's match day one. It's happening on Thursday. And what I think as well, with Liverpool, I know Liverpool has gotten two strikers, and
mhm,
two of them will most likely get their first game on Saturday. That's next week Saturday, and it is right after
mhm.
that game they will be playing Barcelona. So I still don't think Liverpool will have an egg. I mean Newcastle.
Newcastle or Liverpool?
I still Newcastle. I mean, I still don't think Newcastle would have enough time to have settled themselves in terms of how they want to play with their strikers and all. So I think Barcelona would edge that. I think Barcelona will edge that. Another game, Liverpool Atletico Madrid. What do you think? It's going to be at Anfield.
Liverpool is well. I think Liverpool will have enough for Atletico and be able to beat them in that game.
Yeah,
Maybe one or two goals, but I think
I
Liverpool is
think
going to win.
I quite agree with you because this is even going to happen at Anfield. So to me, home advantage. I think Liverpool might be too strong for them. So let's look at some games that are not so big clashes. But what do you think? It's just good to hear what you think of them. Let's start with your club, Bilbao, Arsenal. You'll be going away, and this is what do you
That's,
think? What do you think will
that's
be
a big
happening?
clash on its own. I think club is not a small club, but I think Arsenal will win the game anyway.
I think you guys
It's a
you guys
week.
played during the Emirates Cup, right?
No, that's just friendly. Friendly is,
Yeah, but you guys
but
played.
I
It
think
was three.
Arsenal should be able to have enough for Bausha in
Another
that game.
thing, another English team, Tottenham is coming back to the Champions League. They'll be playing Villarreal, playing at home.
Well, you don't know which Tottenham you're going to get. That's my
Just
problem with them.
even apart from the first game, generally, what do you expect from Tottenham this
Generally,
Champions League season?
you expect Tottenham to get to the playoffs. Generally, they should be able to get to the playoffs. Because if you look at their matchup is not that crazy. But we know Champions League is Champions League. So,
Mhm.
but they should be able to get to the playoff minimum. That's what I think, though. Because
Yeah, then we'll be
their team
getting back to watching the big boy, the grandfather of Champions League, Real Madrid Marseille. What are you expecting
well,
from Real Madrid?
every Champions League has given us different kind of Real Madrid. But well, hopefully this season they start well, so they should be able to beat Marcel. Hopefully, because
Why
all
you
their other
hoping?
matchup
Why you hoping? Do you have
because it's
stake on Real
Madrid.
Madrid? No, because you say
No, it's
hopefully, hopefully.
Madrid. It's
Do
Mad.
you have a stake? Do you have a stake on them?
Anything Madrid, group stage, group phase, league phase, or wherever. Madrid might be very stupid, so you might not see the Real Madrid until you get to the next round. So that's why, I hope they are able to beat myself. That's Madrid for you.
And finally, What do you think of Manchester City Napoli? This this is
That's going to be a
Kevin De
tough
Bruyne.
game.
Kevin
Tough
De
game,
Bruyne will
though.
be welcome back to Etihad on the day.
It's going to be a tough game for both of them. So
This will be right
I'm who's
after,
at home.
you know, the funniest part for
Home.
Manchester City. This will be right after Manchester United game, and it will be 2 days, or let me say 3 days, but less than 72 hours before their game with Arsenal
Nobody cares. Who is home? Is it Napoli that is home or Man City?
at Manchester City.
Yeah, then Manchester City should be able to beat Napoli. Then, if it was in Naples, I would say Napoli would beat Man City. But
Okay,
it's home.
okay. I kind of agree with you on some of these teams, but the thing is just the excitement for me. It's Champions League. You can't just wait to start watching the big boys. Nayo, if you won't predict teams to win, let's go scorer. Can you give us 4 possible players you think will be banging goals this season?
I know Rafinha should be top up there. Haaland should be somewhere near there if Man City does well. Mbappe, that's depending on which Madrid show up. And who will I go for again? I've done Rafinha, Mbappe, Haaland. Who else is even what? Is there another striker? Well, maybe Kane,
Oh, you've not
depending on
mentioned their
Bayern.
father, Kane. Yeah, because I probably will be going
Maybe
with Kane. I'll be going with Kane number one. I'll be going with Mbappe number two. I'll be going with Alan number three, and I'll be going with Isak number four. I'm expecting Isak to come up in these big games, show himself
I
this
don't
time
think
around, and let's see. So those are my
that
own
one.
predictions for the possible highest goal scorer. So any other thing you're expecting from this year's Champions League, now?
It's Champions League.
Apart from the excitement.
This season, I want to see more drama from like especially after last season's madness. I want to see more drama this season. Big teams should not have it easy, making it into top 8 or top 16. I want to see that battle again, like same thing, because last season was really, really, really interesting with that dynamic. So hopefully we get the same thing this season.
Okay, guys, don't be like Neyo. Let's hear your prediction. 4 possible teams you think would get to the final. And that is it on today's episode of Champions League. We are the champions. See you guys.